Hello everyone and welcome to the first annual Grizzly eSports Showcase live from the Don Oliver Television Studio at School of Journalism. I'm Sam Milyko and I will be your host and play-by-play announcer for tonight's Super Smash Bros. Matchup. Esports, or electronic sports, has been around for decades. The first solo player games were introduced in the 1950s, and the sport has grown like wildfire in the past 10 years. It has now grown into a billion-dollar industry with its own celebrity athletes drawing big paychecks. Here's a look at how the sport has progressed from these first days of electronic gaming.
Esports, a world that has been growing since the early 1950s. I think it all started with a simple game of tic-tac-toe. Tic-tac-toe was played against a computer, and the only thing you could do was change who was starting. It was later advanced into a multiplayer game called Tennis for Two. Tennis for Two was made to be with two people who had a controller. The controller was very basic, a simple knob and a button to change the trajectory of your shot and to actually hit the ball. On the screen, it was very pixelated. It had a very simple net in the center with no people on either side but a ball that you could see and hit. There was no score system at all. This game eventually became to what we know as Pong. Eventually, the first arcade game in 1962 called Space War was invented, where two people each get a spaceship to compete against each other to avoid the gravitational field of a planet in the center of the screen. As time slowly passed, the first arcades were finally coming into a primary game that was called Seawolf. Seawolf was released in 1976. This game was very basic. You had to try to take out ships and try to beat their score with a certain amount of shots. Eventually, Asteroids came out, which had a first score-based system that you could actually keep track of your points when you had them. Another game was Starfire. Starfire came out with Asteroids in 1979. In 1980, the first major esports tournament was held at the Space Invaders Championship, where over 10,000 gamers competed to win a copy of Asteroids. A big jump to the 1990s, where Nintendo held the first Nintendo World Championship in the United States. The champion was split into 3 age groups, and each of the 3 winners were awarded the Golden Nintendo Gaming Module. Multiple people picking up the gaming industry within the 90s, they started to expand to the PC gaming and use Local Area Network, or LAN for short. This allowed gamers to compete with each other locally in the same room, and eventually evolving into playing across the world. Countries such as Germany and South Korea started to show esports popularity, with a large 1,600 people from all across Europe coming and gathering to an event known as the Gamers Gathering in Duisburg, Germany. South Korea then professionalized esports with the start of KESPA, the Korean Esports Association. Nowadays, we even have stadiums and huge Super Bowl level World Championship tournaments that are held for many different games, such as League of Legends, CSGO, Rocket League, Apex Legends, and much, much more.
The University of Montana's esports team starred in October 2019, and even through COVID has been going strong. I'm going to toss it over to Jack Marshall, who's with one person who's been with the UM team from the beginning. Jack?
Thanks, Sam. Joining me at the desk is Cale Patnod, the head coach for UM's esports team. Cale, I was just curious, how did you get your start with UM Esports?
Well, I was a traditional athletics kid. I did basketball, baseball, track, all the different things. And through the years, I ended up sustaining some injuries. And due to my own physical health, I was unable to continue and keep up with my peers. And I really still craved competition. And so esports really became a draw because it has such a low barrier of entry when it comes to actually competing.
And then I was also curious, what do you think sets UM Esports apart from maybe other teams or communities across the nation?
That's a fantastic question. Really, one of our big things is we sit on our 3 core pillars of eSports here at the university, our diversity, inclusion, and community. And aside from that, we also approach it not only from the competition level, but the academic level. How can we use eSports to showcase these skills that a student can develop throughout their college career and become a relevant professional in a very high demanding world of technology, innovation. I mean, we've just gone through a pandemic that showed that remote learning and all these kind of things are possible.
So there's former members of the Montana eSports program that are now succeeding in careers outside of UM?
Yeah, we've just had our graduating class of seniors, which is really awesome. We got to hold a little kind of going away ceremony for them, and they'll take what they've learned through the eSports program and apply it to their professional lives in whichever career that they've kind of sought out. We help land internships or potential lifelong careers or career paths for these students. So it's really awesome to see these students just grow and flourish.
And then just finally, I was curious, what can we expect from today's showcase?
Well, we have Rald and MacawMagician, 2 of my favorite Smash players to watch, and you'll hear a little bit of trash talk, I'm sure, but what will end up happening, I think, is Rald has a quote-unquote perfect win streak against MacawMagician, but MacawMagician is currently the Kalispell reigning champion, so we're looking forward to a good match.
Well, thank you, Cale. It sounds like there's certainly high stakes. Colleges and universities across the U.S. are rushing to form esports teams in response to the industry's accelerated growth over the last couple years. However, schools have been unable to shake the representational disparity that exists in some gaming communities. Rory Cheevers reports inclusion was part of the plan from the very beginning for the UM esports team.
You don't go to a football game and they have you sit down and be like, hey, we're going to respect people's pronouns. Being able to sit down and see one of my friends give a talk about something that's so important to me.
Team member Teddy Jump joined the team because it offers an environment to its players like none other on campus.
I don't know why, it kind of brought me to tears because I was just like, this is not something you would see anywhere.
University of Montana esports coach Michael Cassens modeled the team's values from some of the highest performing teams in the nation. Cassens made it the team's priority to remove barriers that might affect players.
And so our main focus was, how do we find a breadth of people across our campus to feel like they can come and play with us, regardless of who they are and what their background is? But one of the things that I felt was really important and vital to the community was actually creating community, which meant focusing on how do we create a diverse and inclusive type of a team versus one that's hyper-competitive.
According to Cassens, team members have also used the space to learn and grow.
And so somebody said something. The young woman that stood up and said, hey, that's not okay. I mean, it just was a moment of and everybody stopped and oh, yeah, that's not okay. We should talk about this.
Jump was emotionally impacted by a team member after they shared a presentation about personal identity and expression. Jump intends to keep building the team's community and playing Rocket League while obtaining a degree in video game design. For Cassens, the goal is to keep improving inclusivity, teamwork, and winning more tournaments. For UM News, I'm Roy Cheevers.
I'm Jordan Redmond. Esports competitive video gaming on campuses is male-dominated, but many programs like the one here at the University of Montana are trying to change that. Esports team member junior Brooklyn Van Beber says that seeing women represented on esports teams helps encourage women in gaming.
More female ones have been coming to light, which is really cool to see because it allows younger females who are kind of wanting to enter that world of gaming but a little nervous too. It allows them to have that kind of confidence to take that leap and all that, and UM's really good about that.
We want to include everyone.
Director Michael Cassens aims to create a community focused on inclusion and diversity. Although the esports program has a large number of women on the team, they are still very much the minority.
Rising up and highlighting our young women so that they feel like they're in a position of not only participation, but leadership and having their voices heard. And I think that is also critical as well to to having young women participate and being models and role models for other young women to feel like they can also participate.
Passion and dedication for the game is the main push behind many athletes. Van Beber, who is also on the golf team, enjoys the intensity and team aspect of the esports community.
I guess it's the team nature of it I really like, but the other similarities I would say is the intensity of practice. Like, even though it's just video games, we're still going to practice like 4 times a week for a few hours, and we have a game day. And we even do VOD reviews, which is just rewatching our gameplay. So I still like how the intensity and the competitiveness is there with both.
Esports follows some of the same values of traditional sports. Creating a welcoming space that is both competitive and friendly is key to the esports community growth.
It just has to do with how do we see each other and how do we celebrate that, regardless of who we are. I think lots of sports do that. I think that esports can do that too.
Every year, more women are participating in esports, and they're changing the esports community for generations to come.
When we're playing against other teams, the sportsmanship is just on another level, I guess, because we'll be joking with each other in chat, like in between games, and that's like with another school. So I love like how we're still competitive in the moment, but in between or after, we're just really friendly, and it's really nice, and it brings a lot of people together.
Reporting for News, I'm Jordan Redmond.
Thanks, Jordan, for that great look at women in esports. Behind me, we have 2 of our Super Smash Bros. Players who are ready to play a best-of-3 match live at the studio. Now we'll pass it over to them. Now, today, on our left here, we have our players, Rald, going in strong, and we have Macaw. Now, the 2 of them have been going head-to-head for quite a while now, since esports started last year. And the 2 of them, to much of a kind of sudden grab, has Rald in the lead for a while. Now, we have Rald now as Greninja against Macaw's Meta Knight, both very strong characters in the play. We have seen beforehand that Macaw's Meta Knight is one of his strongest plays. Now, going in strong, we do see Greninja is getting a lot of percentage knocked up onto him off stage as well. Meta Knight's very strong with that edge guarding capability, giving him the chance to fly around with a lot of his jumps. Now, Greninja does have to make up a lot of this percentage. Rald not looking too pretty. We do have Macaw only at 41, while Greninja's now doubled that, bringing it out over the ledge, trying to get that spike. Meta Knight doesn't quite commit to that ending. It's going back and forth with a nice shield, but alas, the smash attack was just able to hit Greninja. Now at 116%, one more hit could be devastating for Rald, and there it is, the first stock going to Macaw. Now, Rald's got to try to make this up. He is at 0%, which does give him a bit of an advantage when it comes to getting hit. But alas, 61% is still a good number for Meta Knight. Macaw's bringing it strong with his pressure. Now at 85%. Ooh, Rald trying to get that spike there. Not quite landing on Meta Knight with a nice little dodge in the air. Meta Knight does make it back. Now trying to get that edge guard on Meta Knight, but a nice side B gets him back on stage. Bringing it in the action, going over to the other side of the map. Macaw trying to use that edge to his advantage, and a nice smash attack from Rald to get him off the edge of the map, but not quite for a stock. He does it yet again, trying to get that poke to spike him off the side of the map, but Meta Knight does get the recovery to come back on the stage. And there's another hit. Unfortunate, it was to the left on the right side of the map, so Rald doesn't get the stock that he so wanted for. Another nice hit, spiking him over to the side of the stage again. Meta Knight now at 157%, bringing it in strong. Trying to get yet another edge guard for Meta Knight. He's trying to keep it off the edge of the map, but a good grab from Rald to take the first stock from Meta Knight. But now it's 2-2 for the stocks, and Greninja is at 52%. Rald's got to try to make that up, and he's doing good work. Now bringing 25, 35% up on the tick, trying to get it even, now 42%. Ooh, and a nice hit from Midnight to counter back at Rald. Bringing it back now, it is very even, 66 and 54, trying to get that last hit on. Good shield coming from Rald again, trying to get that nice down aerial from Rald to spike on the percentage. Now Meta Knight is actually at the higher percent. Now with the 81 to 66, Rald is looking pretty now, but who can tell how this is going to turn out? Rald does get a nice spike over to the side on the left side of the screen. And then we do see an attempt of the spike from Meta Knight, but 120% now. Ooh, Rald bringing it back, trying to come on in and do some damage. The side B not hitting over the stage, but getting the edge of the stage to bounce Meta Knight off the edge and not hit Rald at all. 74% for Rald, and a nice Black Lightning spike on the upper. Smash attack from Rald to get him that up on the stock. He's now 2-1 stock-wise. Meta Knight's at 15% and Rald 84%. Bringing it in strong now at 100. Meta Knight's not joking around here. 31% on Meta Knight though is nice and pretty. If he can take this stock staying at his percentage, then he could have come back. But now 54% is not pretty. 61 and stacking. Increase in the damage coming from Rald. This could be it for Macaw. Going back and forth, he just can't get a hit. Greninja's at 106%. A good smash attack could end Rald, but alas, Meta Knight is still getting the percentage racked up on him. Oh, and there it is. A nice 10% knock onto Rald, and Meta Knight goes for the ledge guarding action and tries to get Rald his last stock. And there's the game. Greninja, Rald bringing it in strong. There he is on the left with the first win of the night. We have a nice victory for Rald. Wow, well done for both players. That's what I like to see for sure. You know, we had it in the end there. Macaw had the lead with Greninja going in strong, but getting that nice, good old turnaround from Rald, that is something you don't see every day. All right, well, they're now going to change and check their stage, choosing their characters. We might see if they decide to stick with the same or if they're going to switch over to something new. All right, well, we're getting back into the game, and we'll take a look at it. Looks like we both stayed the same, Rald and Macaw keeping with their characters, trying to get that action. Oh, and a nice little crouch coming back to each other. They get the taunt, and Greninja threw the first hit. Nice shield going from the Meta Knight here. We are getting into it. All right, they're playing very defensively here at the start, but Meta Knight's able to get more percentage onto Rald than he was anticipating. They're now going in for more of an aggressive play. Rald having to catch up that percentage as he goes in strong. Getting set up, Greninja is able to come back now in the lead on percentage, but oh, he gets the hits taken right back to him with a good combo and aerial coming from Meta Knight. And Meta Knight does the up B tornado, trying to get that spin. Alas, he just goes around and now is getting more percentage onto him, evening up the field with a 2% difference. Checking it out now, Greninja does get the hits. He's getting the combos, trying to go with that ledge. Was able to save Meta Knight from going and landing into Rald's combo there. Does get a nice hit, sending Meta Knight off the edge of the map. But alas, they both make the recovery and get the ledge grabbed. Going in now, we have a spike coming from Rald in an attempt at the substitute dash, but alas, he comes back and gets knocked by Meta Knight. Meta Knight at 109, 113 now, and Greninja 86, very even. Still have 3 stocks, going in strong. Greninja getting hit again. Oh, and gets the down spike, almost to end his life off the edge of the map, but he does make the sweet recovery to come back in the action. Gets a nice hit on Meta Knight, coming back at 127 health. We do have Meta Knight now. He's flashing red, not looking too pretty, and the Black Lightning on Rald for taking out his stock. Now we'll see how much percentage Meta Knight can get onto Rald before that first stock is gone. take a look here. He's got 13 so far, and he's trying to get that ledge guard. He was trying to get that spike onto Macaw. He gets a spike on the ground here, gets a grab, throws him down, and gets the spike off the edge, not quite taking him out, but he's looking not pretty at all. He's flashing red as well, looking low, 159%. And there's an ice aerial, still not off the edge of the map. He's looking for it, he's trying for it. We do see the up B from Meta Knight there, trying to do a shadow attack, but alas, didn't quite land. He does it again, getting onto the ground there, and he's going 165%. He's gotten 48, 58% now onto Rald before his first stock has been taken. It's not looking too pretty for Rald at all. No sirree, he's going down 68%, 165. Oh, and there's the Black Lightning and the takeout of Meta Knight, the first stock going from Meta Knight finally. But Macaw was able to get 71% on Greninja, so that is quite the comeback that Rald has to make here. He's getting it good. He's going 40% now compared to his 73. He's coming back. Oh, and there's the Shuriken on the ledge, timing it perfectly for that damage. Now we do see Rald at 80% now, but the 58, the catch-up is some nice recovery. Oh, trying to get that up B. Oh, and he does get an upper smash attack onto Rald. He gets that 91% security. Oh, and a good old nice reflect there coming from Rald. Trying to get in. He does get a nice grab on Meta Knight, going and getting a nice aerial smash, upper smash as well there. Getting that nice even percent. They're very even, 3% off. Now we have Meta Knight in the lead. Oh, and he gets a nice normal attack in the front, trying to get that spike. Does get a good recovery from Meta Knight, 105% on Rald, but alas, we have 99 from Meta Knight. It's back and forth again. Here we do see a hit from Rald, and here is a good recovery on a Black Lightning to take out Rald's second stock. Meta Knight now at 103%. Oh, and there's the Black Lightning. Now they're both at 0% beginning a game, but one stock. This is a nice even battle going on here. Nothing too out of the ordinary, as we do see Meta Knight did get the first hit, but now Greninja is doing it triple fold. Does get one hit back onto him though, and he's going back. They're playing a little defensively, going back and forth, but if they stay at range, Rald will have the advantage with his shurikens. He will be able to do those projectiles, and Meta Knight just doesn't have those projectiles, so he's got to keep it close. All right, getting some good ledge guard there. We do have Rald now at 61% and 64, 71 for Meta Knight. We get an up B to teleport him across the map there. Meta Knight in the shadow area, trying to get a normal attack for ledge guard, but alas, wasn't quite close enough to get Rald at all. Now we do have Meta Knight at 87, but Greninja now, after taking a couple hits, brought back to 80%. Very close call, 7% off. This could be a close one. 93% for Rald. He's not looking too pretty. A ledge grab and a pop off with another ledge. Oh, and a nice neutral, and the Meta Knight takes the victory with the side ledge guard there, bringing out the power. It is now 1-1 for the Knight. Wow, Rald and Macaw both coming in strong here. All right, nice victory for Rald at the beginning, but Macaw was not letting him have it at all. Really wanted that comeback, came in action for it. All right, looks like they are going to be playing this third game after all. We're hopping right on into it. I believe the characters will be the same now as we're going in for game number 3. 7 minutes on the clock, and Greninja gets the first combo, bringing Meta Knight to 41% right off the bat here. Wow, what an amazing play. Now Rald is taking some heat, taking some damage. Ooh, good, nice combo going into 37%. Ooh, but Rald is not letting him have it with a nice 63%er. Going in strong, we have Rald trying to get that ledge guard and capabilities, but Meta Knight, oh, what a nice takeout with a full-on combo there, bringing that percentage to 100 and a knockout right off the bat for Meta Knight. Rald is at 38%. It's not looking pretty for Macaw on the start here. Losing that first stock was huge. Now we're going back and forth, almost caught up percentage-wise, but Rald still has 3 stocks. Now we're checking it out, very even percentage. Ooh, Meta Knight does get a nice up B to get that hit onto Greninja there. going in. Greninja now at 84%. Macaw 55. Trying to check it out. They're getting shielded back and forth. Now Macaw is on the ledge. All right, getting that percentage. Greninja's trying to knock up and get that spike off the ledge to rack up more percentage. He's throwing out water shurikens and ledge guarding capabilities with his up B like no tomorrow. That's for sure. Now percentage is even. Oh, Macaw now at 100, and another stock from Macaw gets taken, but a nice hit coming back. Rald is up by 2 stocks. Now there's the Black Lightning, and a nice takeout of Greninja coming from Macaw. Nicely done. Now, Rald still has 1 stock on Macaw. We have 25%, 33% on to Meta Knight now, bringing in the heat. Rald is not playing around with a nice grab, throwing into the ground with a combo off the ledge, but doesn't get the spike as he comes back onto stage. And both in the action. Ooh, with a nice, perfect guard, throws the grab and takes a nice little ballerina dance on top of Greninja there. Meta Knight is now at 65% with only 16% on Greninja from that grab. Now a nice Black Lightning hit on the upper smash attack coming from Midnight to finish out the night. Rald taking that 3rd game like there was no tomorrow. Wow, what an amazing play from both players. That was a match to be witnessed. Wow. Well, while esports continues to surge at UM, more and more help is needed to put on in a competition. Jack Marshall went to see what Grizz Esports is doing behind the screen.
In the midst of every live esports broadcast at the University of Montana, there are people working tirelessly to make sure everything goes to plan. The person in charge of these streams is Ryan Knowles, the broadcast manager for Grizz Esports.
The phrase that I like to use, it's always a little bit of a controlled disaster. when we stream, there's always something that goes wrong. Technical difficulties, scheduling difficulties, internet, all these sorts of things that go wrong.
Knowles has played video games forever and was part of Montana's original League of Legends club. Without him, esports wouldn't be able to operate.
Manage both the online section of the Grizz Discord as well as handling all of the production for the stream.
Make your game.
Along with Knowles is Kate Weiss, who's in charge of HR, production, program management, and graphics for UM Esports.
I love video games. I don't think I could ever design one. It's a lot of work, but I try to play everything that comes out.
Another instrumental part of the behind-the-scenes production of UM Esports is University of Montana journalism student Haley Monaco.
And I do something called patch notes, which is just like little write-ups of what's going on with the team.
Another big task the behind-the-scenes crew has to do is make sure Sam Milyko, the team shoutcaster, is up to date with all information. As esports continues to get bigger and bigger at UM, Knowles continues to find ways to make his behind-the-scenes productions better.
Having a camera on the players would be a pretty big deal because you can see the excitement or relief or even sadness, the emotions that they show while playing and participating in winning or losing. I think that's a pretty big step forward.
Reporting for UM News, I'm Jack Marshall.
I'm Jackson Groff. The esports program at UM awards around 50 scholarships worth $50,000 to their athletes every year. Team member Nicholas Nordhagen says his scholarship has given him a safety blanket to do what he loves.
Grizzly Esports Scholarship is really relieving. It's really nice to have that little help with the tuition, because every penny counts, and like other students, I'm probably working between school, and the scholarship is a nice bonus for this program.
Nordhagen has been on the varsity Overwatch team with the Grizzly Esports program for 2 years. He is from Helena, Montana, and had developed a love for esports throughout his early stages of video gaming.
Gaming's always been a hobby of mine since I was young. And having a community and a program where I can actually bring some of those otherwise useless skills that I learned.
Professor Michael Cassins has been the director of esports at UM for 2 years. He says his priority is to offer the e-athletes a support system.
So what I mean by that is if you're a scholarship athlete in, say, soccer or basketball or football, you get that support system. But if you're not able to be on a team like that, well, then you don't get that support system, not like that. So my view is, why can't we create that in a broader sense? Why not offer financial support, because we have so many students that struggle not only with food scarcity, but also with having to work, in the middle of the night and having to pay for tuition and all this. Why not help them if the way they give back is they give back by, just giving back to our community?
Michael has been a really, really positive influence, and receiving the scholarship from him and from the other esports faculty is just like really, really nice. And it shows that they're really looking out for us and they care about us.
So he has really great communication skills, but mostly also he's a good listener, right? So what I'm looking for is him to kind of jump in and just kind of be part of the team. We really want our teams to kind of know one another and be part of what each other's doing, regardless of what game you're playing, whether it's Overwatch or it's League of Legends or it's Rocket League or whatever. We want them all to be able to do that. And Nicholas is somebody that could help do that.
Nordhagen has 2 more years in the program and has his eyes set to achieve the greatest in the esports program.
I see myself potentially sticking with esports throughout my undergrad career, and maybe even doing something with it beyond that.
Reporting for UM News, I'm Jackson Groff.
Thanks, Jackson. I'll send it over to Brooke Oswald now, who's going to talk about the winner of the Smash Bros. Matchup we just watched. Brooke?
Thanks, Sam. Today we have David joining me. He's the winner of our Mario Bros. Matches. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So first of all, I was just wondering, why is it that you got involved with Grizz Esports?
Oh, man. It started actually at a Smash Club event. So I've been playing Smash since I was 4 or 5. I started with Smash Melee on the GameCube with my cousins, and I've been playing it for the better part of a couple decades. And so it was one of the first things that I sought out when I came to UM, was some sort of connection to Smash, people to play Smash with generally. I found what at the time was an independent Smash club on campus, showed up, became a regular, met some great people, played some great Smash, and then one day we had, I believe it was Kale, step into the Smash Club room and drop this bomb on us. Hey, we're starting an esports team. Do any of you guys want to be involved? And that was such an instant yes for me. And Kale came in at the perfect time, because we had just started, I think, rebuilding what was a slightly deteriorating Smash scene in Missoula. We had just begun to get people coming to that Smash Club more regularly. Kale couldn't have picked a better time to come in. And that was the first time I heard about esports, and I showed up to the first Smash event. I think I won the little tournament that we held for that event, and they were like, "Do you want to take up this mantle?" And that was a brilliant opportunity. I could not have asked for a better welcome to UM. I was a transfer student at the time, didn't know anybody in the state, let alone the school. So that community was really a bright part of my first semester and my first year here.
That's fantastic. So just out of curiosity, how has COVID affected this year, your gaming and esports in general?
Gosh, that it hurt. It hurt in a lot of ways. It hurt because it forced me to go back home, to leave the university. I'm from Southern California, and I had to head back home during COVID. So on a personal level, that was pretty devastating, because I had just begun to develop that sense of community and place, both in Smash and at the school broadly. But as far as the game itself went, COVID made it very difficult, literally just to play our game. Smash Ultimate in particular has a pretty poor online format. It's difficult to input buttons, and that there's a lot of latency, lag online, and it was a brutal reality to have to wake up to, that the only way for me to play my game competitively and with my friends was to play in this terrible online format. Nintendo isn't particularly supportive of competitive Smash, and when they had an opportunity to better their online system in light of COVID and the restriction of in-person events, they completely failed to take that up. So it hurt. It hurt in a lot of ways. But what I can say is that it's been beautiful to see the bounce back, especially in Montana. Being back, I've seen a hunger and an energy for the game like no other. It's incredible to me that people develop such a desire to play and compete in such adverse conditions. It's been really heartening. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I think we're almost there.
Awesome. So how do you think your involvement in esports has helped you grow as a person and as a gamer?
Goodness, in every way. The biggest way, I think, is leadership. I was one of the first people to begin running brackets and like relatively organized little tournaments at Smash Club back in the day, at least in 2019. I was one of the first people that started organizing that kind of thing, and I realized that I really enjoyed the process of putting people in a position to compete and giving them that chance, giving them that structure, and providing a point of leadership for that to happen and facilitating that. What that's turned into is that I'm now the captain of the esports team, and I've put myself, frankly, at the head. I've put myself in a position to organize Smash in Montana broadly. So I've been doing everything I can to be in touch with the people that are running local tournament events in Bozeman and Kalispell and Butte. We had several towns represented in the most recent event that we ran, our first offline event back. We had people from those towns come and show up with a desire to compete, and it was so fantastic for me because that gave me the energy I needed to take up a leadership role in organizing a new era of Smash in the state. So this summer is going to be fantastic. I would never have developed so intensely as a competitor in a structured, disciplined manner. Our coach for the Smash team, Cage, he's the best Melee player in the state. Melee is a much more quick and technical game than Ultimate, but he adapted to our game to be our coach, and he's provided structure and discipline in a way that I would have never imposed on myself. It's easy to be complacent, I think, in competitive gaming, and esports and our coach have given me, and I think all of my teammates, an opportunity that's invaluable. Yeah.
Well, again, thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations.
Thank you again. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and back to you, Sam.
Thanks, Brooke, and thanks everyone for participating in tonight's event. We hope you learned a little something about esports craze and the wonderfully inclusive team UM has put together. Be sure to follow the UM esports team on social media at UM Grizzly Esports to learn about events in the future. For my classmates at Journalism School, thanks again for joining us, and good night.